And Bunel, Victor's excited about that. Lots of power talkers in the house. But more importantly, I am a mentor and a mentee. In fact, just yesterday, I met with my mentee, Cliff Brackett, and we had a lot of fun talking about Toastmasters. Now, the word fun is not in Toastmasters' mission statement. Our presenters tonight behave, though, as if it were. They are both longtime public speakers and leaders, have been instrumental in the growth of Toastmasters around the world. If Toastmasters didn't have a mentorship program, they would have had to create one to describe what these two do. You will be thoroughly equipped as a Toastmasters mentor at the conclusion of this presentation. So fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I give you Jake Tushinsky and Victor Irving Jenkins.
Hey, now, which one of us do you think is Jake? I know you all know who Jake is. Welcome to this presentation. We are going to introduce you and share with you an actual video that I'm looking to actually have Toastmasters adopt as the video that they have on their page to talk about mentorship. However, we're going to do some other things as well. If you haven't seen the video, please enjoy it, but we want you to pay attention because at the conclusion of the video, we're going to ask you some simple questions about the video because we know that you're all leaders, and leaders are able to articulate what they have absorbed. And while you might think it's a good thing to learn, we have found that you don't learn nearly as much as you learn as you do when you teach. As a result, we're going to gauge your learning ability, and then we're going to ask you to actually share with us what you got from the video. And then Jake's going to do something that's really going to knock your socks off, and before you know it, the time's going to be up. Well, without further, I'm not going to say that word. That's right. I almost slipped up and said that word. My mentor, Jake is my mutual mentor, right, has cautioned me about saying words like that start with the A and the G word. And we want to discourage you from saying those words as well, so much so that we're not even going to use the word to tell you how not to say the word. We just hope that you can figure it out. When we share our screen and begin to show you some of the media that we have, there'll be a red, black, and green bar on the top of your screen. There'll be an opportunity for you to view options. Now, when you click on view options, one of the choices that you'll have will be hide video panel. And that means you'll be able to watch the entire screen and not see our smiling faces. Although I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to see our smiling faces, not only during this presentation, but after this presentation. But you have the option to do that and to give you a more complete view of the video. And my friend and colleague, Jake Tushinsky, will take it from here. And she's going to, I have a friend I'm watching a video that says, let's go ahead and roll it.
Sounds fun. Let's go. Oh, fiddly dee. Come on, let's play it, baby. Of course we did this. And play. Oop.
Jake, can you check you're sharing sound? You might just be sharing screen. I can't hear anything.
I don't either. We need some sound, Jake.
You don't have the sound on there?
Nope.
No. Oh, that is going to be a bummer if you don't get the sound on there.
If you reshare and then click share computer sound in the bottom left of the share screen options, it should work.
Stop.
Adriana with the tech juice. Yes, that's exactly why she's around.
There we go. Yay! This is so awesome. Okay, so cool. Thank you so much. I learned something tonight.
Is to learn from those who can teach. He knew that if we seek help from knowledgeable and experienced people, we can achieve our goals faster and avoid making mistakes and wasting valuable time. What is a mentor? Such knowledgeable and experienced people are called mentors. They can be found everywhere. Think about your work. Was there someone who helped you get started in your career, offering advice and guidance, showing you how things worked and how to get things done? Consider your education. Was there a teacher who took a special interest in you and who had an especially positive influence on your life? We all can probably name at least 2 people who have had a profound positive effect on our lives: a mentor. A mentor takes a personal interest in and helps an inexperienced person, mentee. A mentor also serves as a role model, coach, and confidant. They offer knowledge, insight, perspective, and wisdom useful to the mentee. They help someone become successful and learn new skills themselves. There's not anybody at C.A. Brown High School in the 1970 class that did not have to pass through the English class with N.C. Williams. N.C. Williams was a phenomenal teacher. She helped inspire me and made me great in no small way. N.C. Williams has made me the man that I am today, and no doubt countless other students in the class of 1970 at C.A. Brown High School will have the same testimony. She's a great mentor, a fantastic mentor. Now, most new members in Toastmasters join the club because they have problems or needs that relate to speaking and leadership. They believe that improving their speaking and leadership skills will help them advance in their career or offer them greater personal satisfaction. They expect the club to help them solve their problems and meet their needs. With the aid of a mentor, new members are likely to learn the program. Mentors help new members become familiar with pathways education, club meeting rules, and opportunities available through membership. They help them learn club standards and customs. Mentors help new members learn about the club and its activities. They help them develop confidence. Armed with the knowledge that mentors provide, new members' self-confidence increases. They help you participate more. Mentors help new members become familiar with and enjoy the club and its members, and as a result, new members become more involved in club activities. They quickly learn speaking skills. Mentors familiarize new members with the resources available to them and coach them with their speeches, enabling the new members to advance faster. What about developing special skills? Mentors are not only useful to new members. Some of the more experienced members in the club can benefit from having a mentor also. Sometimes an experienced member's skills can become sort of dull. Perhaps you have been a member for several years and want to learn more about some particular aspect of speaking, such as maybe speech organization or humor. Another club member excels in your area of interest. This person can be your mentor and help you further develop that special skill. Perhaps you have admired an officer's ability to motivate and inspire members. Maybe the officer would be willing to help you learn these leadership skills. With a mentor's guidance, more experienced members are likely to do several things. They can further refine skills. A mentor can provide helpful feedback that will encourage the member to build upon and perhaps revitalize the skills that they already possess, or help them learn new skills. Existing members can always learn new skills. The benefit to mentors. Those who serve as mentors to a new or experienced member also reap rewards. They learn from their mentees. Mentees offer new information and perspectives. They remain productive. Mentors continue to make use of their own knowledge and skills. They do something for others. Much can be said for the pleasure we receive from helping someone else. To do so is not only a confirmation of our own skills, but we also feel good about ourselves when we help someone achieve their specific goals. How about receive recognition? Mentors are respected and appreciated by fellow members for helping people. Of course, mentors also earn the gratitude of their mentees. Benefits to the club for mentors. The club as a whole benefits too. If we want the club to be full of active, involved, satisfied members, starting a mentor program will help. However, a successful mentor program requires each member to contribute. Members must be committed to helping new members and one another. Clubs that encourage members to mentor one another have more members. Turnover is reduced because members quickly become involved in the club and develop friendships. They have more satisfied members. Members continue to learn, grow, and enjoy the club experience. They retain more members. When members are satisfied, they stay in their clubs longer. What about mentor qualities? There are some important and essential characteristics that mentors need to possess if they are to be effective. A good mentor is available. You must have time to spend with a member, at least 15 minutes or more each week, to help with speeches and answer questions. New members may require additional time until they become more familiar with the club and their role within it. Be patient. People learn at varying speeds and some need more guidance than others. You should be willing to provide whatever it takes to help the mentee. Sensitive. Tact and diplomacy are vital. As a mentor, always be careful to say and do things that will motivate and encourage the mentee. Be loyal and take care not to betray the mentee's confidences. Respectful. Everyone is different. A mentor respects the differences between himself, the mentee, and others. Mentors have to be flexible. Not everything happens according to your plan. You must adapt to various situations and accept that mentees may make decisions that you don't agree with. You gotta be supportive. Show your pride in your club and what it has done and can do for members. You gotta be a little knowledgeable, because before you can help someone else, you gotta be familiar with the club, its operations, the educational program, and even the Toastmasters International Organization itself. You should have completed several manual speeches, served in most meeting roles, and developed enough personal speaking skills to be of help to the mentee. You gotta be confident. You need to be self-assured and friendly, a good listener. A mentor must listen carefully. Simply listening without taking on the other person's problem can be of great help to the mentee. Just by listening, you can enable the mentee to articulate the problem and sort things out. You gotta have a concern for others. You must genuinely care about other people and truly want to help them. Now, there are some steps involved in mentoring. The first meeting of the mentor's duties will vary depending upon whether the mentees are new members or existing members. Provide information over several meetings or several months so that you don't overwhelm the mentee. Once the new member has been assigned a mentor, at the first meeting, the mentor should, number 1, sit with the new member, explain various parts of the meeting, such as the business session, table topics, prepared speeches, and evaluations as they happen, and answer the questions that the mentee may have. Number 2, orient the new member to club customs and procedures. If your club has special awards or events or other special activities or procedures, explain those to a mentee. Help the mentee become comfortable and a part of the club in any way that you can. Number 3, explain how to sign up. Ask the Vice President of Education to schedule the mentee's icebreaker speech as soon as possible, and then encourage the mentee to serve on a club committee. Also, advise the mentee regarding what to do and whom to contact about signing up for meeting roles, and whom to contact if he or she is scheduled to fill a meeting role but is unable to attend the meeting. Number 4, help with the icebreaker. Many experienced Toastmasters still consider the first speech to be the most difficult. This is because new members are not only uncomfortable speaking before a group, but they are also speaking before relative strangers. Your assistance can help the mentee overcome fears and get off to a good start. Discuss speech ideas with the mentee and offer suggestions for organization if necessary. Listen to the mentee practice the speech and offer feedback. Now, the next meeting, a mentor should, number 1, make mentees aware of resources. If your club has a library, show it to the mentee. Point out the material in the Toastmaster magazine. Also, discuss the district conferences. Explain the roles of club officers and the information that they can provide. Number 2, provide positive feedback. The first few weeks of membership are critical. Mentees must feel that they are already benefiting from the Toastmasters experience. Compliment them on their progress. Number 3, explain responsibilities. Membership requires more than just giving speeches and receiving evaluations. It's also a means to commitment to helping the club and its members. Number 4, help with speeches and other assignments. As you work with mentees on their speeches, Be sure to help them use their evaluation feedback to improve their next speech, and then offer your own feedback. When mentees are assigned other meeting roles, explain the roles and offer tips to fulfilling them. Over time, eventually, mentors should also do the following. They should tell you how you have benefited. Share your own goals and aspirations that the mentees would want to know, and let them know that you have benefited from the Toastmasters program. You are proof that they can achieve their own goals. Why don't you invite the mentees to other events like Toastmasters, speech contests, or conferences and other club meetings, and all other mentees will come as well. Acknowledge progress. Ask for time during a club meeting to mention your mentee and his or her progress. Such recognition that the club hears about the mentee's progress and motivations will help the mentee continue. Explain the officer's duties. Describe how the mentee can develop leadership skills by serving as a club officer. Help the mentee select the club office in which to serve and discuss when the mentee would be serving. Be sure these goals are reasonable. Explain speech contests. Discuss the purpose of the speech contest, the types of contests conducted by the club, and how some contests progress to area, division, district, and international levels. Help the mentees assess their readiness to participate in contests. Describe the Toastmasters organization. Acquaint the mentee with the Toastmasters international structure, including the area, division, district, and international levels, and the purpose of each. Help the mentee understand how the organization works, the mentee's role in the organization, and the leadership opportunities that are available beyond the club. Now, the mentees need to have some qualities as well. If the mentor-mentee relationship is to be successful, mentees have responsibilities and obligations too. To receive maximum benefit from the relationship, mentees should be eager to learn. Mentees must be willing to take on new challenges. Receptive. Mentees must be open to feedback, viewing it as an opportunity to improve themselves. Open to new ideas. Mentees should be willing to see things from other perspectives. Loyal. Mentees do not violate confidences or trust. Grateful. Mentees appreciate the help their mentors are giving. A finite relationship exists between the mentor and the mentee, and it doesn't last forever. It does require some time and commitment. The relationship doesn't last forever for sure, but it shouldn't. The purpose of mentoring is to teach the mentee to think and act independently and successfully. Once mentees have developed to the point where they are functioning effectively on their own, mentor services are no longer needed. Most likely, the mentor-mentee relationship turns into a strong, warm friendship. Mentors can find new mentees to help, and former mentees have the skills and knowledge to become mentors themselves. Conclusion: whom you can help learn new speaking or communication skills. Who may be able to help you learn speaking and communication skills. A mentor-mentee relationship provides many opportunities, offers many challenges, and has many rewards. Experience them for yourself.
Hey, I hope you all enjoyed that, because I certainly enjoyed that. I mean, that guy, I don't know where he's come from, but man, he really nails it. It's so easy because Toastmasters actually wrote the thing. After watching that, if you were like me, you were probably thinking of some things along the way. You were probably evaluating where you fit or where your mentor fit. And for a man like me who's been a Toastmaster a while, I'm one of those Toastmasters that has been around a while, and mentor, I still need mentoring. When I met Jig Tashinsky, I met a mentor and a mentee. You see the agenda that she's prepared today. You see the plan that she has created for our presentation. All those are areas where I need mentoring. I need, and I have, there's another man in the audience, Cliff Brackett. Cliff Brackett is mentoring me in terms of how to develop content, how to make sense out of giving a speech. So he's helping me with that as well. After watching that video though, I'd like to have each of you just briefly give me what your takeaway was. Unmute yourselves. First, somebody like Adriana, why don't you unmute yourself and Just give me your biggest takeaway from that video you just watched.
Victor, I appreciated the steps. I think when I first started as a mentor, I was not very systematic about it and like, okay, we'll give you a little bit of information. Now let's give you a little bit more, a little bit more. So I think it just gave a very clear, concrete step to like take a mentee through. And I appreciated that.
Okay, how about a new person? Patty, you are brand new to Toastmasters, so you probably haven't been a mentor or a mentee. What was your biggest takeaway from what you just saw?
What I took away from that was I appreciated just seeing the whole process and what the mentee and what the mentor relationship is going to be like, as well as what kind of is expected as a mentee and what the mentor is trying to get out of the mentee. So I think that it will help me and whoever my mentor is form a more cohesive.
Now, Cliff, being that you know the presenter and you've been a Toastmaster for a while, why don't you share with us what your biggest takeaway was from that video, excluding the evaluation of me? Unmute yourself.
Okay. The biggest takeaway for me is that the mentor-mentee relationship should be, first of all, one of trust and confidence and mutual respect. And ultimately, it will end up, and it should end up, as a win-win. And so when I first joined Toastmasters, I thought, well, if you're a mentor, you should have all the answers and know everything. And that isn't the case. So we're constantly learning and growing. And in that process, we're sharing with others to help them learn and grow. So I think overall, it's really about how the trust and respect and the mutually growing together is what really came across for me.
Fantastic. Another new Toastmaster, Akeisha. Why don't you share with us, unmute yourself, and tell us what your biggest takeaway was from what you just saw.
I think for me, I truly appreciated that you guys outlined the qualities expected of a mentee. Oh, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate the qualities that you guys outlined for a mentee. I think a lot of times we emphasize on what one will gain, and we don't really a lot of times what is to be expected isn't quite as outlined. And for someone like me, I appreciate that, just knowing this is what I should be thinking about, how I should conceptualize the relationship going into it.
Okay, thank you very much, Akeisha. Susan, you've been a Toastmaster for a while. I've watched you grow from being a pre-Toastmaster experience to actually being a fully accomplished Toastmaster. Why don't you share with us a little about how the video compares with how your actual mentor behaved?
I have great respect for my mentor, and I feel like I have so much to learn still, but I have also so much to give to a mentee. So I'm looking forward to that role as well. And I think the trust and the mutual respect and all of that is so important in any relationship, particularly in the mentor-mentee one. And like I said, I'm looking forward to filling that role. So yeah, thank you for that great presentation too. I'd love to, can you send us a copy of that, or are you planning to?
He's a YouTube star. That I will be happy to.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, Needy, you're a new Toastmaster. So tell me, are you chomping at the bits to actually be a mentor right now, or did that video inspire you to actually get mentored? Just share some ideas about what you felt and thought.
Sure, Victor. So I am not in a position of feeling to be a mentor right now because there's so many aspects of Toastmasters that I really don't have a handle on. But I would love to have a mentor. I would want that relationship back and forth just to get a whole lot of feedback. And Quinn has been really helpful actually prior to my speeches and just giving me feedback. Adriana was really great with looking out for what was expected, what I wanted out of the speech post for the evaluation. So it was so helpful. I feel like just having a mentor would be great. And I like the steps you had, Victor, for the meetings and everything step by step post that, like right from the beginning. Gives you an idea of what the whole trajectory looks like.
I would like to take a lot of credit for that. Toastmasters is such a phenomenal organization. That presentation was a scripted presentation done by Toastmasters. And, you know, people spend thousands and thousands of dollars in order to get the benefit that Toastmasters gives us for pennies. Moving on to the next Toastmaster, Bonnie, can you please tell me, how soon in a person's Toastmaster experience after watching the video, how quickly or when do you think they should have their mentor assigned to them?
Well, according to the video, as soon as they become a member, you're sitting by their side almost, I think, even as new people come in. So from the very beginning.
Tell us more about the video and what it did for you.
Well, I see mentor and mentees and the clubs as a win-win situation, because if you learn by teaching, and when you're teaching, you're strengthening yourself, you're strengthening your mentees, which also strengthens the club. And what an awesome win-win for everybody.
Well, I think Eddie, why don't you share with us what you got from the video? Because we're moving along now. We're going to get to the next part of this thing. And well, I'm excited to hear what you thought about the video. What was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I appreciated the entire video. It reminded me of what mentorship is all about. I haven't done it in a while. I do appreciate explaining the time and the friendship, because the last person I mentored, we would meet once a month for 2 hours, and we've actually become somewhat friends. He's not a Toastmaster anymore for personal reasons or business reasons, but he and I still keep in touch, and we still talk about things.
Okay, fantastic. Mr. Leon Williams, I hear that you have a pretty decent mentor. I mean, it's just a rumor. I'm not really sure who he is, but why don't you compare what you saw in the video with what has happened with you and your mentoring relationship, and you can finish it up with telling us what your biggest takeaway was. Unmute yourself before you try.
Thank you for sharing that. Because I came in at the end of your presentation, I can't really fully answer that question. How, is there something else that you would like to ask me about my mentoring relationship that I can answer?
Yes. As far as what you saw, the time the part of the video that you did see, did anything stick with you?
As I said, it was actually towards the end of your presentation. So I have no idea what was said before that.
Okay. Okay. Before we move on to the second portion, Mr. Quinn Bunell.
Well, I did want to talk, but if you don't want me to talk, it's okay.
Go right ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's fine. I just go ahead with your presentation. That's fine. Go ahead.
Leon, will you make your comments, please?
I was just going to say that I appreciated my mentor, which is you, that recognized how I want to be mentored. And that was very specific to me. I don't like, well, you know, I like hands off. I like to come to you when I need something. And I have to say that every time I come to you, you're always there and you always give me exactly what I need when I need it. And so that's what I wanted to say about that.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Quinn Buniel, let's go. Tell us what your big takeaway is, and we'll move on to the mistress of ceremony.
Yes, I'm excited to hear her presentation, and I appreciated in the video where you showed that the mentor relationship is sometimes finite in time, so that you focus on a skill, you focus on a goal with your mentor, and then you move on. Maybe you move on to a new mentor, maybe you move on to just be independent or become a mentor yourself. Thank you.
I'm disappointed nobody mentioned my outfit. But moving right along, I give you Jake Tushinsky, and I give her to you selflessly because Jake has been a phenomenal mentor for me, and she's taught me a whole lot without even trying to teach me a whole lot. And just the experience of Jake Tushinsky enhances my Toastmaster. So ladies and gentlemen, I give to you none other than Jake Tushinsky. Give it up for Jake.
Oh, thank you. And especially thank you so much, Victor. You just warm my heart, fill me up. And I'll tell you what, anytime I do need a little energy, I know exactly who to call because I just hear Victor say hello and I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then I hang up. That's it. Because, you know, if you stay on too long, you could be in all kinds of trouble. But I'll definitely know that I will learn a tremendous amount from him as well. There's another man that was a part of this club that taught me a tremendous amount, and that was Sigurd Jett. And for those of you who are new to the club, Sigurd passed away this last December. And he was in his late 80s, a Toastmaster for, as he would say, since before God. But he and I often shared a philosophy, and very much an old school philosophy, that it's important to us that we bring to our club and to all Toastmasters that we meet, because we are brothers and sisters. And that is that Toastmasters isn't something that just happens for 1 hour in the evening, but it is something that we take out into the world. It is what helps us to become better communicators and better leaders. For what reason? Not to impress one another here, but to help others. So that whatever we are doing, however we are growing, and what we are learning as mentors is to help us become mentors to other human beings in our workplaces, in our organizations, whether it is at church or whether it is at a nonprofit organization, whether it is helping people in our community, whether it is within our families. This is where we are mentors. And yes, where we learn to be mentees, to be proteges, where we learn to listen and where we learn to seek out the guidance of others. So here at Toastmasters, we learn how to be mentors and mentees. So beyond that incredible platform that Toastmasters provides, there's an advanced step here that I felt is important to share with you, and I promised Sigurd I would do. I'm going to bring up my screen once again. I'm going to give you a list of 5 items. I'd like you to please write this down, because then I'm going to take down my screen and we're going to discuss this list. I'll read it off for you as the items come up. And this has everything to do.
Uh-oh. I hate it when that happens.
This is how you build suspense. I like it.
Abracadabra.
Oh my God.
Well, is this time for a joke?
Sure.
Right back. Look at her.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, there she goes.
Unmute yourself, sister. Unmute yourself.
All right. So as you see, I know I'm like, cheers. All right. So as we go down, I'm going to read it to you. Y'all can see this, right? The thing is, it's when we first meet each other. We've talked about what we do at a meeting, but let's remember that this is us as a whole and who we are as mentors. There is a reasoning for the how this goes along, okay? The methodology behind each step here. So the first thing is, Come on, buddy. Now that I got you up here. The first thing we're going to do is talk about what are you all about? So please write this down. The second is, what does your average day or week look like? The next is, how do you feel about your career and life goals? So funny, we can meet with somebody, talk for an hour, and walk away with no information whatsoever. So we want to be focused. The next one, what do you do well? And lastly, what do you want to do better and for what purpose? Notice I did not say why. This is important. What do you want to do better and for what purpose? I'm now going to stop the screen share. And if we can all go ahead and get back into gallery mode so we can share our time with one another. The reason we have reasoning, but first of all, when we're getting to know somebody and we're saying, hey, I want you to tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. What's the likelihood you're going to do that with a stranger? I see Eddie doing that. Exactly. What is something we need to establish in order to open up?
Trust and friendship.
Trust and friendship, exactly. And therein lies that question. What are you all about? We want to know the whole person. What can we learn about asking somebody that question? What are you all about? What is something you might learn?
Let's pick somebody, Jake. They all look eager.
Oh, put it down. Okay, I'll start with Cliff. Go ahead and please unmute yourselves.
Okay, so repeat the question, Jake.
When I ask you the question, what are you all about? And you ask, what is something you might learn? It's a very broad question.
I think what it creates for me is it focuses the person on what their core values are in life. What are the essential motivating forces that they're looking at? And if they don't know, then it makes them aware of it, and it gives them something to look at in terms of what are their core values. What is the purpose in their life?
Perfect. I did not plant him, but Bonnie, do you remember when we first met, one of my beautiful mentees, and what was a word that Cliff just used there that really hit home? Did you hear loud and clear?
Goals or just not knowing what we're all about ourselves.
Sometimes a lot of people come to Toastmasters and they're looking for growth. They're really trying to figure out what they really are all about. So we get to ask, what do you do for fun? This is where we get to, what do you do for fun? What are some other things that if somebody asked you what you're all about, what would you say, Patty? Tell me one thing about yourself.
I guess I would say when I look to find purpose in what it is that I do, that what I do helps in some way.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty heavy. I mean, that's really heavy. And I feel like, let's keep it even lighter. one of the things that that's okay. When I meet with a mentee, it'll say, you know what? I'm all about church, and I go to church, and I'm all about my dogs, and I'm all about sports, and I'm all about what can we benefit? What can we gain when we find out that when somebody is their particular favorite sport, or that they belong to that they go to church, or that they are an animal lover? What do we gain from this information? Adriana.
I mean, I think that's what relationships are built out of, well, how is your dog the next time I see you? Or, maybe I don't care about sports, but I noticed that your favorite team won, and I can mention that the next time I see you. So I think it's just knowing what they care about and then caring about that at least a little bit, so that you can grow that connection and foster that friendship. So I think it helps to know those things, even if they're not related to Toastmasters, because they're how you build that connection. So
absolutely, it's called rapport. And the more that we can dance with one another, the more that we can connect, what we'll find is we do have things in common. And those will help us to bridge when we need to. It will help us to speak the same language when we need to, and to find that common bond that will help us to support somebody from time to time. And Adriana, by the way, turned the tables on me the first time I met with her. And I said, so Adriana, what are you all about? And she said, no, first, I want to know what you're all about. What is it exactly you do? Yes, she did. She grilled me. She wanted to know more about what I did for a living and how I did it and how did I get into it. And she has a drive and a sincere interest in leadership, and she knew that this is a passion of mine, and she really grilled me. And you know what? Quid pro quo, right? Yeah. That's the way it works, because it's not just you asking them, it works both ways, and that's that sharing. So the first thing we do is build rapport. The second thing in there, what does your average day look like? Susan, actually, I'm going to start with Needy. Why would I ask you what your average day looks like?
Feel like it will give you an idea where Toastmasters fits into it, and also whether what I'm doing with my day really aligns with where I'm looking for.
All right. When she says that, okay, Susan, what do you think? Very good.
I
Thank
think
you.
When we know what somebody does all day, it's kind of looking at commonalities and looking at things that we have in that we do alike and have in common. Also, just it's interesting. It's interesting to know what people do all day, I think, and just knowing how other people spend their day. I mean, I know we're all working and but we all do different things. Right. Seeing what makes them tick, seeing what keeps them up at night, like this kind of thing. Gets to know the person.
How many times have you heard that? Like, oh my God, I don't have time for that right now. Or we don't ask somebody about something because we don't want to impose. We make assumptions about people's time and energy and interest. And it's important to know. But here's the other thing, everybody. We understand time and commitment as it relates to Toastmasters, and as mentors out, whatever it is that you're mentoring on, you have a greater understanding of time and commitment, energy, what something takes, and you can give better guidance as to exactly how much to give and take at any one point in time. Because, ladies and gentlemen, life balance is essential. We want to make sure that our proteges do not get burnt out. We have a responsibility to them to help them pace themselves. So if we know that they've got a ton of things going on, we're going to help them to scale it down. No matter how excited they are about Toastmasters, how excited they are about becoming the next CEO, we're going to say, we don't want you getting burnt out. It's better that they get there slowly than burn out and never get there at all. And on other times, we're going to say, you know what? I think you can go a little bit faster here. So it's important for us to use our knowledge, our experience, and be able to guide them in a way that they are able to maintain a pace that will help them to continue to grow. Take the time to understand where they are in life. Make sense?
Yep.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you to make an oath right now, and that is this. Please tell every one of your proteges right now, and just I'll ask you to promise up to this. They do not have to participate if life is like huge. Just show up. If life is huge, just show up. They will grow and it will be the best part of their week. So repeat after me. I will tell every Toastmaster.
I will tell every
Toastmaster.
Just show up.
Just show
Just
up.
Let's show up.
That's it. That we help to support them in that way. Okay, the
Feel
next
good
three,
and
let's go.
prosper.
Pardon? Victor, okay. I want to make sure.
That wasn't
Career and
me.
life goals. Career and life goals. We've got to, I put in the link, and every one of you, I've provided a folder that is a mentor-mentee folder for each one of you. And it helps us. You are going to find in there guides for helping us to fill out and put together our goals and our time frames for proteges and mentees, all related to goals. But first, let's have a conversation about it. Before we ever get to filling any forms out, remember that when we have a sounding board and that first thing we were talking about, and as Cliff had said, sometimes you're just kind of figuring it all out, and that is talk. What is your career goal? What is your life goal? Just talk about it. And don't be afraid to share your own with them before you ever write them down. Why would I say, what do you do well? When all we're trying to do is improve. Why do I want to know, what do you do well, Eddie?
Well, you want to know what we're doing well so we can share that experience and wealth of knowledge to our mentees, and then move on to something else that we do well and encourage our growth.
Yes, absolutely. One of the areas of happiness and the reason why so many people are unhappy in this world is they're busy trying to fix something rather than focusing on what they do well and allowing themselves to continue to do that even better. So when you can find out what is their strength and help them to apply that to other areas that they need even more energy for, remember that. Help them to recall that. It's like what we do in our evaluations, and we tell them what they're doing good. We want to find out from the very beginning, what do you think you do well? So we can help them to empower that and incorporate that in times where they're really pushing themselves, right? They shouldn't always be overdoing it. Let's find out what they do well from the very beginning and give them a good start. And the last one, what do you want to do better? And for what purpose? Of course, that first thing, what do we want to do better? Why are we there? What do we want to do better? First of all, I want to tell you, it's super important. Everybody has a scale in their mind of where they're at between 1 and 10. It doesn't matter where they're on their scale, they can do better. So who cares if they consider themselves a 3? Is the goal to go to 4? Awesome. Is the goal to go to 9? Fine. It doesn't matter where they are on the scale. The idea is just better and to incorporate better. So the words that we love to use as mentors in life is what's better. But the last part is this, for what purpose? I continue to ask you to remove the word why from mentorship. Instead, for what purpose? Does anybody have any ideas about why I might say that? Bonnie, I think you have some idea of that.
Well, I was thinking, asking them why they might become defensive. You know, why do you want to be better? You know, because so many times we look at someone and think, oh, they're really an expert at that already. And it's like, why do you want to waste time? You're good. Or, you know, I don't know, any other options out there.
Yes, yes. It's just, it is a reaction. It's just like people have reactions to no. When you are first meeting with people and people say, I want to do this better. And you go, well, why? And they just, it's like a kid. Because it's just this human reaction that they have, rather than, oh, okay, so for what purpose? How do you want to use it? Where will that improve your life? Notice I'm using what, where, how. These help to develop and further the conversation and help to move the mind towards developing the goals. Those goals that you're going to write down, the what, where, when, how. No whys in that part of it. That's what's going to really help to develop in that stage. Sound like fun?
Sounds like fun to
It
me.
just sounds like fun.
This is next level. And I would love to have a lot more interaction on here, but I really need to consider your time this evening on a Sunday night, and that we've got a few things to show you and help you as far as aids and keeping with our agenda. This section, though, is what Sigurd and I have been talking about. It's taking it at this meeting. This meeting is what's going to carry your relationship and help this person to grow to the nth degree just by having the conversation from this point on. Okay, so let's go into this next part of our meeting. Any questions? I'm thinking no, because I'm not hearing any.
Well, Jake,
Yes.
we have exhausted our time.
Okay, I think we had till 8. It's only 7:45.
7:50.
Well, dang, that's exhausting our time. So there's so much more to learn. And it's obviously Victor and I get excited about sharing these things with you. Time is time. And until next time, I will let Victor close.
Right, we want to give Quinn and Eddie and all the leadership, give you kudos for putting this thing together. And for those of you that attended, I want to give you kudos as well, because you could be doing something else. And this shows us that you are truly, truly interested in what we're doing. The final piece that we were going to do, that I was going to talk about, had to do with technology, because two big tools that we have is the Toastmasters.org website and the EasySpeak.org website. The EasySpeak.org is the club management tool, and if you don't consider yourself a 9 on a scale of 10, it's going to be hard for you to walk your mentees through to getting the most out of EasySpeak. Now, I happen to be a 15 in EasySpeak, and anyone who wants to be a 9 or a 10, I'm going to extend an invitation to you right now to reach out to me, and let's set aside a time, 15 or 20 minutes or so, because if you are not the vice president of education, you could do pretty good in EasySpeak without learning a whole lot more than what you'd already know. So I want to give you that as an invitation. The next thing is the Pathways piece. People may be intimidated by Pathways.
Yeah.
Pathways
Okay.
is a wonderful tool that we can all use. And if you're not able to go into Pathways, choose your path, go through the project and click it when you need to, and go to the next pathway, then I want to help you out with that as well. Pathway is also a way that you can provide feedback to your mentees, and your mentees can provide feedback to you. And of course, when I'm looking at the camera, I'm not reading my text. So if you are sending me a message, you have my apologies. I'm not looking at it. I'm going to give the video back over to Eddie, who opened this meeting, and we should be finished right about on time. Eddie.
Thank you, Victor. Let's give a big round of applause, everybody. Turn your mics on and give a round of applause to Jake and Victor, please. Let's also give a round of applause to Quinn. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quinn actually opened everything up and was doing the introduction. I figured it'd be easier to just have one person do everything so we can jump into it right away. So he and I have been texting back and forth, getting everything set. So thank you, Quinn, for your hard work on this. You're greatly appreciated. And Jake and Victor, I would love to set up a second workshop with you guys. Maybe we can set it up for close to an hour, maybe an hour and 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And maybe we could set it up a little bit earlier, and we could get the word further out so we could get a little more people in here from both especially from both clubs, Power Talkers and River City Toastmasters, because I think this is a very important subject. I learned a lot, even though I've been a Toastmaster for 12 years. And there are a lot of new members that need to understand what mentorship is about. So thank you very much. I greatly appreciate both of you putting this together for everybody.
Eddie.
I put together a mentor folder, and yes, I think that that is a correct link now in the chat. Yes? Okay.
Anyone on this presentation that does not have a mentor, by the end of business tomorrow, we want you to have one. And if you can't pick one for yourself, reach out to your VP of Education. We want everybody to have a mentor. And those who are of the mind to, we'd like you to be a mentor. We want to make this a presentation that actually effected change, that actually met the Toastmasters mission of self-confidence and personal growth.
And
Okay, since we can't shut up here, and I'll continue, and that is, it doesn't just have to be a Toastmaster. So please contact Victor or myself or anybody else in here who has experience with mentorship. If you're at your church, at the school, with your friends, and you really want to be a mentor and have an impact in your community, this is where we learn. We are your resources. Please come to us and say, help us with and guide us. This is a place we learn. It doesn't mean we have to be a mentor here at the club.
All right, and I am going to actually turn it over to Mr. Quinn, who opened and will close our workshop tonight.
So thanks again to Victor and Jake, world-renowned Toastmasters, and you saw here tonight why that is the case. I want to quickly shout out to one last person who couldn't be here tonight, who actually started this whole thing, Chris Lopez. He is our VP of Education here at Power Talkers. And he will be joining us tomorrow. So if you can, share your appreciation with him. He and I also put together a really good summary for each mentor, and we have 100% of our mentors from our club in this group. So that is really great. I know we wanted to have more people, but I want to celebrate that. So if you're a mentor in the club right now, you will get a little summary of what your mentee filled out during the mentee survey that we did about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I'll also be sending out, along with Chris, a reminder of who your mentors are, because some of these mentor relationships are just starting out. But thank you so much to Jake. Thank you so much for Victor. Thank you all for coming tonight and making a commitment of what your day was going to look like today, and including Toastmasters in that. So have a great night.
Who's on the phone? Whose number is that?
That's Akeisha. I helped her get better audio. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much and have a great week. And we'll see you all tomorrow if you're a Power Talker.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
night.
Night.